Hey, so your opinion is based on life experience and the knowledge you gain throughout your life. And as a child, it's massively influenced by your parents. How they bring you up, what they say, what they do, how they treat you, how they treat other people. Massive. Mother is God in the eyes of a child. So, I mean, I was a child. We all were, us adults. And I was a massive tomboy, as in, on the outside I was a boy. I was a boy. I didn't have boobs. I didn't develop until I was 13. And I had two older brothers, and I just wanted to be like them. I wanted to hang out with their mates. I didn't like dolls, didn't like prams, didn't like putting on my mum's shoes. I didn't do any of that. I had two brothers who played rugby and football. One was a massive gaming nerd. But they went off climbing trees, siphoning petrol from cars. They did all that later on in life once I'd got over it. But when I was younger, they massively influenced me too. My dad was a bodybuilder my entire life, always at the gym, massive. Was a fence erector as well. So he's always carrying posts over his shoulders right up until he retired last year, and he's like 73 or something. My mum was the typical housewife, although she worked full time. Then she came home from work and she cooked and cleaned and took care of my dad and us. You know, it was just what she knew from being younger herself, from that era. Bit different now. My dad cooks for himself anyway, so that's gone on. But I look back to when I was 8 and I got my hair cut short. I had friends and they were girls and one boy, and all the girls had their ears pierced, they wore skirts, they had Barbies. But don't get me wrong, these girls loved to play with my brother's Lego and Tonka trucks like I did, and fill my pram with dirt. They loved that because their prams had to be kept nice. Mine was full of dirt. They were all right with that. We went climbing trees, did all that. But I was on the outside. I did get called son, and it bothered me because I wasn't a boy. That was a web. I just more identified with boys, as in what they got, what they were interested in. I wanted. Totally influenced. I'm totally sure it's because of my dad and my brothers. Yeah. So I think, had I been 8 today and my mum told anybody how boyish I was, what kind of pressure she'd get not to go down the route of getting me transitioned into a boy. And it absolutely makes me want to cry. Because I've got a 13-year-old girl and a 12-year-old boy. And my son wanted to be Spider-Man, a bin man, and a pilot, I think, for a long time. He's 12 now. All he does is play on games. He don't want to be a bin man, Spider-Man, or a pilot. I don't know what he wants to be. But there's nothing wrong with encouraging that. Behave like Spider-Man, act like Spider-Man. But I know that when he gets a bit older, just like me through my experience, he's not going to feel like that anymore. Because that's not what happens. Boys don't feel like that. Boys don't continue to feel like that. Girls don't. We all grow out of it. And it was 11 when my younger of my oldest brothers brought home his girlfriend at 18, and she was the epitome of woman to me. She had short hair, but it was done. It was permed and flashed and done with that quiff, that 90s quiff. She wore loads of makeup. She had big dangly earrings. She wore beautiful clothes. Always had a different handbag and high heels. And she was just my envy, my goal, what I wanted to be. And I wasn't. Look, I'm not feminine. I'm not particularly feminine, pretty or anything. I'm quite plain and boring. She wasn't, and she accessorised what she had with makeup. So I wanted to grow up my hair. So first of all, she took me to get my hair flashed. told me how to look after my short hair, and got my ears pierced, and bought me skirts and dresses. And I became the girl I always was. I just more identify the side of women now than men. But don't get me wrong, I still love camping, getting dirty, getting rough, doing all that stuff. That's why I joined the army, you know. That's why I take part in physical sports. I like that element of it. And it's got nothing to do with the fact that really deep down inside I've always been a man, because I haven't. And neither of my children, luckily, have ever not embraced what they are. I mean, my son, I bought my daughter a pair of roller skates years ago, and he wouldn't try them on. I said, go on, try them on, you might like them. He said, no, skates are for girls. I've never told him that, but it's something that he's developed on his own, or he's heard somewhere. I don't know. But, you know, I have broached the subject before about when I've been painting my nails, because, you know, sometimes I like to paint my nails. Do you want me to paint your nails? And he says, it's for girls. Now, that's obviously a societal thing, that girls wear skirts, makeup, have long hair, wear nail polish. It's obviously more closely towards female. And some boys, like my son, are just adamant that they're so boyish, they won't even entertain any girly things. Now, I don't know what that makes him. I tell you what it makes him a man, a male, with his own thoughts that are influenced by what goes on around him. And in this case, not me, because he's seen me paint my nails, get my hair done, and he's never thought, I want my nails painted and get my hair done. You know what? My daughter hasn't. She's 13. She doesn't want her hair cutting. She doesn't like her nails painting. She doesn't like wearing dresses and skirts, never has. She's quite boyish, but she loves her long hair, even though she doesn't do anything with it. She just puts it back in a ponytail. But so what? Men have long hair. So she's not girly, but she's not boy-y either. She's right in the middle. So is she non-binary? Should I be telling her that she tells everybody she doesn't have a sex? Is that where we go with this? I mean, obviously, I think that a child, and I was a child, they have their opinions, but their opinions are to be taken with a pinch of salt, because they're still forming them. They're still changing them. They're still hearing what their parents say. And there's a reason why most age limits for adult is 18. You know, I mean, they obviously differ slightly. But like, there's a consent age for sex, smoking, drinking, driving. Because these are very, very life-changing things. They alter your body. They put you in situations where there's danger. So they want you to be completely developed, or as close to developed as possible with the brain. And they've tested it over the years, dropping the age limits, raising them, to test out where it seems to meet. And nobody seems to be pissed at the driving age or the sex age or the drinking. Nobody seems to be pissed with that. They just get on with it, and it's life. So when a 12-year-old comes to you and says, I feel more like a girl than a boy, and these parents spring into action like, oh my God, Netflix series. I'm sure they don't. I'm sure really what they feel is that they love their child so much that they don't want to do them a disservice by not listening to them. But you're a parent and you're a guide, and that's all you can do. And guide is talk to them about it, but never do anything physical about it, because things change. Opinions change, minds change, children change. Can you imagine taking your child for a castration, or the mammaries removed as soon as they start developing, for them then to get that influence of the person that comes into your life, and that's the way you're meant to be. So for me, I was a tomboy from 8 onwards until I was 11. I hadn't even got boobs yet. And then this female presence came into my life and changed my life. It'd be too late if at 10 I'd already started puberty blockers and things had started happening to my body. I would be so upset with my mum now if she'd done that to me and stopped me developing my boobs. stopped me developing my periods, because I wouldn't have my children today. And the whole thing just makes me so upset. And parents, you can do whatever you want, but you have to look, first do no harm. You have to look after your children, surely. And forcing your progressiveness on them, I don't think is the way to do it. And yeah, just wanted to talk about that.